Hello, probers!
Howdy, howdy.
And welcome to a spooky edition of But It Was Aliens. I'm your host today, Midnight Moonwalker. And I'm joined by Grave Humping Greybeard. It's Halloween, and we here at Extraterrestrial Towers thought we'd treat you this Halloween. Today, we're going to turn our probes towards something other than aliens. P.S. It was aliens.
Grave humping?
Yeah.
Why grave humping?
It's the only thing I could think of at the time of writing it. So you're a grave humper.
I was trying to think of something else, but nothing came to me. I feel like I'm under too much pressure. I'm on the spot. Give me a Halloween name that's not grave humper, not humping.
Grave humper. We're taking a trip back, way back.
Kevin the Goblin.
To
No, I'm not gobbling anything.
Kevin the grave humping goblin.
No.
Happy with that?
Never. Kevin the Gargoyle.
Kevin the grave humping gargoyle.
For Christ's
There we
sake.
go. We're taking a trip back, way back, to 1966, a few months after England won the World Cup. Okay, we've not won it since, so we have to celebrate it. Anyway, way back to 1966, and to a city in West Virginia known as Point Pleasant. From the name of it, it's a very pleasant place to live, but it harbours something sinister. It is here that our tale unfolds.
Ooh.
This is the tale of Mothman.
I've heard of this one. Mothman! I had to resist singing so hard when you said West Virginia. Trying to cut that shit out.
No. Mothman!
You've stuck a picture in
Of who?
it's Mothman.
There we go.
It looks a little bit like the Batman symbol with red eyes.
No. Mothman!
That's beautiful. Utterly beautiful.
On the night of...
Hold on. I'd just like to point out on the image of... He's got one arm significantly longer than the other.
Yeah, he has.
Hunchback! Mothman! Also just headbutted my microphone there. Got too excited.
On the night of November 12th, 5 men were digging a grave in the cemetery. Some might say it was a grave mistake.
Why? You just popped yourself.
I really did.
Wait, 1966, November 12th, 5 men digging a grave in a graveyard.
Yeah.
Why?
Some might say it was a grave mistake.
I was just going to ask, why would they do it at night? Surely you do it when it's light.
During the day.
This is immediately very, very suspicious. I don't trust these 5 men.
I have no idea why they were doing it at night.
They're making a grave mistake.
So whilst they were digging, something caught their attention, but they weren't sure about what it was.
It was a moth.
Something was shifting in the trees near them. They fixed their eyes upon it, and this thing leapt from the trees and swooped down over their heads and vanished.
Mm-hmm.
The men were adamant that whatever it was that launched from the trees was not a bird and was humanoid. Humanoid! There is no evidence that these men finished digging that grave or that they didn't saw their panties, but they saw something humanoid with wings.
See, now that's interesting. You say wings, yet it leapt from the trees rather than flew from the trees.
Could have jumped and then swooped down rather than just like a falling
It's
glide.
like a penguin. It's got wings, but it just doesn't use them.
But it did, otherwise it would have just hit the floor.
Well, it might have hit the floor.
And done what?
We don't know that
Landed in the grave.
the grave wasn't finished, actually.
Shallow grave.
So we don't know if they finished digging the grave.
So what you're
but
saying
we do know that this happened.
is that if it jumped or leapt, launched from the trees, didn't use its wings,
Hit the
and
floor.
landed in the grave, that would have been a grave mistake.
Christ's sake. Oh, no.
I'll stop now.
You won't. You'll lull me into a false sense of security, and then you'll be like, but they've made a grave mistake.
I'll stop. Sorry, what were you saying before that?
I don't remember anymore. Something about they've got wings that they don't use. It's basically a penguin.
But it's not.
Penguin Man!
It used them.
Debatable. So the men... Oh, that's what I was saying, wasn't it? The men never finished the grave.
Not on record.
Pussies. Continue.
This isn't the only sighting of this mysterious creature, but it could very well be the first. 3 days later, possibly after a late night rendezvous or a late cinema showing, around midnight, Roger and Linda Scarberry were driving in Roger's car with some friends, Steve and Mary Mallet, who are possibly the parents of this guy.
I knew that was coming. As soon as I saw Mallet and you said parents, I was thinking, it's Timmy Mallet. Oh, whack-a-days. What a show. Oh no, I've forgotten what the mallet was called.
Pinky?
It's not going to come to me. I haven't seen it since I was very little.
I'm going to have to search that now. Cause
I really, really wanted one, but I never got one. Sad childhood right there.
Timmy Mallet's Mallet.
That can't be his name.
That's what I was searching.
Hey, he's walking into the pub as an adult. What's your name, guy? I'm Timmy Mallet's Mallet.
Kev.
Yeah.
He is known for his striking visual style, colourful glasses, loud shirts, and giant pink foam mallet known as Mallet's Mallet.
What sort of a name was that? How did I not pick up on that in my childhood?
Oh, Pinky Punky.
Pinky Punky, that's the one. There you go.
Oh, that's right, what's Pinky?
Pinky Punky, yeah.
Mallet's Mallet.
Mallets. Maybe that's his dad.
But maybe they'd been out for dinner, or possibly something to really spice up their relationships.
Hold on, didn't you say their kids were with them?
No, they're friends.
Oh, okay.
Whatever it was, they were driving by the old ordnance works, an area commonly known to the locals as the TNT area. I'll explain why a little later.
That sounds explosive.
As they were driving...
Yeah, sorry, that one popped off.
As they were driving by the Old North Power Plant, when Linda noticed something next to the power plant. 2 big red eyes.
Oh, red eyes. I was going to go for a ghastly there. They're always around power plants or graveyards. This is a ghastly.
Gotta catch 'em all. Glowing like 2 pulsating rubies in the darkness. She let out an almighty scream. This startled the others and caused Roger to stop the car. She told them what she'd seen, and the rest of them turned to look. It was at that moment they realised that what they were looking at looked human-like. 7 feet tall, wings folded back.
What sort of human has wings folded back? Oh, it looks like a human. Massive beak.
7 foot tall. So it was 7 foot tall, wings folded back, similar to what you would see in a depiction of a demon, or the devil, or even Demona from Gargoyles. Oddly, she was my favourite character.
I don't find that odd for a second.
I kind of want to know why you don't find that odd.
It's just your type. I feel like if we were out having a few drinks, we were single gentlemen, and Demona happened to walk by, you'd be right up in that shit. You'd be like, psst. Kev.
Oh, you bitch. They then realised that this wasn't a bird or anything that they could explain.
It had wings.
So they shit their pants and floored it. This thing spread its almighty wings and gave chase.
I don't know what you said. Spread its almighty. I thought you were going to say ass. I was so certain in my head. It spread its almighty ass and gave chase. Pulsating.
So we're going to take a step out of Kev's filthy mind there. This thing spread its almighty wings
Ass!
and gave chase down Highway 62 at speeds in excess of 100 miles an hour.
Damn.
That's over 160 kilometers an hour. Once they reached the outskirts of the town, and with no sign of the creature, Roger pulled over. Shaken, startled, and confused, they discussed what had just happened. They put their encounter down to being a bird, so with balls and ovaries of steel, they decided to turn around and drive back towards the power plant.
Were they probing what it really was?
I think they were.
Oh,
they wanted to know.
That's gonna go badly, isn't it? What would you do in this set of circumstances?
Carry on driving at over 100 miles an hour.
Absolutely leg it. No.
There is no way I'm stopping and going back. I don't care even if it was a bird and I mistook it.
Remind me, why did they want to go to the power plant in the first place?
They were driving past it.
So where are they going?
Home.
Oh, so are they going back to the power plant here or are they going home?
They're now going to turn around and head back to the power plant to see if they can see it again. Absolute and utter idiots. Don't go back. Way back. I am in agreement.
Yeah, you got to watch out for that demon penguin. That's a big penguin, to be fair. 7 feet.
You'll also notice it's not a penguin because it spread its wings and used them.
To be honest, I've already decided this is a demon penguin. You can say what you like to me at this point. You're not convincing me otherwise. And to be fair, a penguin can spread and use its wings to smother people because that's what demon penguins do. It used its demon wings to smother. It was chasing after them to smother them. Smothery smother.
Smother. With the aforementioned balls and ovaries of steel...
Sorry, can I just say, on the note, just prompted my memory of the balls and ovaries of steel, these guys, they wanted to get some action, didn't they? They were thinking, oh, when a lady gets scared, she wants some coziness. So they're taking them back, I reckon. Get them real scared. So they've got a successful night ahead. Dirty boys. What were their names?
Steve and Roger.
Steve. I reckon if we head back there, they're going to be all up over us. Let's make them shit their pants. We're in. Not literally.
With the aforementioned balls and ovaries of steel braced, they drove back towards the power plant to face their fears head on and to figure out what kind of bird this possibly was. They didn't have to wait long.
Penguin.
They didn't have to wait long before seeing the creature again, and when the headlights landed on it, it launched itself straight up and above the tree line with incredible power and speed.
Violent Pingu, motherfucker! Can I just say that every time I say penguin, you're giving me such a disapproving look? It's like I'm your naughty child.
With it clear in their minds and their balls and ovaries that were clearly made of aluminium rather than steel, but this thing was no bird.
It was.
It's not a penguin. They floored it back into town and straight to the Mason County Courthouse and straight to Sheriff George John Son.
I'm in.
And Deputy Miller Housted. Within hours, the police had people out investigating the area, but they found nothing. Maybe there was too many of them and it scared the creature enough to make it flee the scene. Earlier, I said that the encounter with the grave diggers could well be a grave mistake.
No.
So the encounter with the grave diggers could well be the first. Well, this one is definitely the one that made it famous. A press conference was held the following day and the media ran with the story. The November 16th edition of Point Pleasant Register ran with the headline, "Couple sees man-sized bird creature. Something."
They keep leading with that bird, don't they? Man-sized bird penguin creature. Something.
That very same day...
Pingu?
Pingu isn't a penguin.
Did he wear... What is he?
Just want to throw you off.
He is a penguin, right?
Yes.
Did he wear clothes?
No.
Pingu's dad, did he wear clothes?
Might want a hat.
He was always doing the ironing. Like, always, in every episode, he was always ironing away. That iron was never even frickin' plugged in.
I cannot remember that. Why do you remember that?
I just don't know. It's just come to me. I can vividly picture it. I remember thinking when I was little, well, that's bullshit. He's in an igloo for a start. You don't iron in an igloo. You might iron in an igloo, to be fair. I've not been in an igloo. But you plug it in, surely. You can't iron without some sort of power. It used to have a little wire just hanging, didn't it?
I don't remember. You and your Pingu knowledge. That very same day, Linda Scarberry had a nervous breakdown and was rushed to the hospital by her father. I'm not sure if these guys were married at the time or if they got married and then the publications used married names after. I would have thought she'd have been rushed by her husband, but maybe she was visiting her parents. I don't know. Well, that same day, Roger was quoted as saying, "I'm a hard guy to scare." Ooh, hard bastard. But last night, I was getting out of there. Clearly after he realised that his balls were aluminium. Over the next few days, reports kept coming in. Some from those that claimed to have seen the Mothman before the events of the 15th, and some following. A contractor by the name of Newell Partridge spoke to Sheriff Johnson and reported that he'd shone a flashlight on a creature in a field whose eyes were like bicycle reflectors. He claims that this is the same creature which is causing a buzzing sound to emanate from his TV and is also responsible for the disappearance of his pet German Shepherd.
So he shined a flashlight and saw reflected eyes. That could be a badger, kangaroo. They can escape.
I thought you were about to say another...
So I was thinking in my head I was being facetious, but then I realised that there's a state in America that's had a bunch of kangaroos, isn't there?
So the same one that John Fun claimed that he raced.
I don't remember. But there's like a story out. Oh, we should side probe this. Demon kangaroos. I'm sure I've seen something about that. But anyway, I digress. This could be badgers, stoats.
Wild stoat.
Cats, dogs, penguins.
Owls.
No, it wasn't an owl.
Penguins.
Well, it's not a... Yes, it was a penguin. I may have had a pre-set up response about to come out of my mouth without listening. Nearly, but not quite.
For the next 13 months, there would be continued sightings. Most, however, seem to originate from the same area. I mentioned earlier TNT area.
That place is the bomb.
Well played. This is an old World War II facility which made both ammunition and TNT. Around the area is forestry, concrete domes which are known as igloos. There are also...
Penguin's home!
Yes! There are also abandoned tunnels. It's possible they link away from the area and not just around it. But most of these are now collapsed, flooded or abandoned.
So they say.
It's also reported that some of the people that reported the incident received visits from us. They received visits from MIBs.
Yeah, that's right. I was going to say we don't do that. We did do that, but we never did that. Never did, but also may have, but definitely did not.
Ever. Maybe once or twice, but never.
But also never. Yeah. Let me just gather my thoughts a second. That does not sound like gathering thoughts. That sounds like something completely different. I've completely lost my trail of thought on the igloos.
Well, you better go gather them again.
So the creature took off and launched vertically.
Straight up.
Almost. Have you ever
Speed.
seen like a penguin in the water and they swim up vertical? A demon penguin.
I wouldn't say they go vertical. They kind of go at an angle. It's not.
They can go straight up in the water. They can go any direction they mother crack and want.
I know.
So a really powerful.
I'll give you that one.
A really powerful demon penguin.
Why are you flapping your arms?
Because I'm
like you're a demon penguin.
I'm building up the power.
Are you a demon penguin?
No. Sound like a demon pig. I'm actually walking over to you to smother you.
Smother.
Smother. So, vertical launch. There was an investigation
that found
Roger.
Nothing.
Yeah, Roger was a pussy. And that was...
Look at them shine.
And then it took off in the news.
Yes.
So was it that the news got onto this and liked a crazy story, or was it these folks going to the papers?
I think the media caught hold of it because...
Yeah, it would get headlines, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It would get the readers in.
Because of all the police going out to search the area, they would have been like, what's going on?
Do you cover the visits by the MIBs later?
Not really, no.
Okay. So the folks themselves reported that they received visits from the MIBs?
Because we would be incriminating ourselves. Maybe.
We wouldn't.
But not
we
really.
wouldn't be, though, would we? I mean, we were there, but we weren't MIBs. we were wearing black suits, obviously, because it's quite chilly over there. Black keeps the heat in.
Exactly.
Admittedly, we did have black shades on.
Pretty cool pairs of Ray-Bans.
Yeah, but no, we obviously weren't involved. I mean, we happened to go around and knock on their doors just to see if they were okay and ask what happened.
But that's all we did.
Yeah, and
if we were there.
Which we weren't. But on that note, who reported that the MIBs went is what I'd like to know. Was it the people involved, or was it the newspapers making it more extreme?
I have no idea.
Because the 60s, this is kind of around the time where MIB-ism really took off in the media, isn't it? After like Roswell and whatnot.
I couldn't find any accounts of people saying it, so it is quite possible that the media just ran with it.
Yeah. Okay, well, if we haven't got the information, we haven't got the information. Assets. Intriguing.
There are not only stories of Mothman in the US, though. There have been several sightings in Russia, too. Are these Mothman or something similar?
Are you going to get into the Russian one? This is why I know a little bit about it. Chernobyl? I can't think how you pronounce the bloody word. Chernobyl, that's the one. Sorry, I had an absolute mind fart there.
Well, maybe if you hold the fuck on, you will find out.
Okay, I'll sit on my world knowledge.
There was a sighting in 1968 on the Amur River. Patrols along the east border of Russia at the time were intensified due to tensions between Russia and China. One night, a Soviet patrol boat spotted something suspicious flying in from the Chinese border.
Penguin.
This object was described as human-like with wings. Thinking it was a Chinese spy with some kind of suit or contraption on, they shot at the object, which proceeded to swoop down into a dense forest. They went in to look for it, but they found nothing.
They thought it was a man. Hold on, do spy suits exist? I'm laughing here, but what if they do? Pilot wings, the wingsuit?
Mm-hmm.
What if that's based on real tech?
What if?
So what we could have here is a demon penguin in a flying suit.
Flying demon spy penguin?
Who's it spying for?
Who knows? In northern Serbia, a hunter wandered into a village. With his clothes torn, lacerations on his hands and face, he'd also lost an eye.
He'd been through the wars.
He was flown from the hospital to a larger facility. Whilst recovering, he explained what had happened to him. One night, he was out looking for shelter and somewhere to sleep. The area he was in was quite isolated. He managed to find a small cave, and to his surprise, it was long and narrow. But as he pushed on, it opened up to something resembling a hall of sorts. It was hauntingly dark, so he ventured back out to fetch some wood to start a fire for the night. Once he'd built his fire, he decided to head back out to explore the nearby wood. Upon his return, he noticed that something was stirring in the darkness at the back of the cave. He ran towards his gun, which he'd left along with his backpack, and out of nowhere, there was a deafening screech before something attacked him. He managed to get up to defend himself, and within the light of the flame, he briefly saw what it was that he was fighting. A large human-like creature with wings spanning about 7 meters, with 2 large eyes, but he couldn't make out a nose or mouth. Before the creature attacked again. A loud wailing screech, and then attacked him with razor-sharp claws, clawing at his face and arms. As he fell, the creature leapt out of the cave. He didn't notice any legs, but apparently the bottom half was short and forked. He managed to treat his wounds to some extent, but was too afraid to leave the cave, so sat by the fire, waiting until daybreak. Soon he heard a noise at the entrance, so he picked up his rifle and let off a shot. He heard a screech and the flapping of wings, and once day broke, he got out of there and headed towards civilization. If you had a fight with Mothman and you were given 5 minutes to prep, how are you prepping to defeat this mothy git?
Lantern, I'm going to hang it up in the corner. That's all I need. It's going to go straight towards the light. It's just going to keep on headbutting it to death. It'll be entertained all night, all day. I mean, a moth doesn't tend to last too long on the light. It'll burn. But this big boy, he might need a couple of days. He'll start off getting a tan to begin with, but as time goes on, it's going to get more and more wrinkly. And
Mothman
to be
tan.
fair, I've got 5 minutes. I could have a shower, do a
5
little,
minutes to prep.
yeah, do a little stretching, maybe gather myself a sharp rock so I could hit it on the back of the head whilst it's hitting the light. I'm more confident in this battle than any I've been presented, to be fair. Its legs were forked.
Apparently so.
It didn't have legs, but it had a forked bottom half. Are they not legs? That's a really unusual description. Doesn't sound very moth-like either, to be honest.
Puzzled me as well.
This sounds more like a bird person than it does...
Bird
like,
person.
obviously, it was a penguin, but putting that to one side for a moment, it does sound like a bird person rather than a moth.
I am bird person.
If it's a bird person, I might have to rethink my fighting strategy here.
Bird person. With my 5 minutes, I'm walking into Sainsbury's or a corner shop, picking up a can of Raid and a lighter. That mothy bitch is going down. I might be crazy, but I'm not stupid.
So I'm going lantern and pokey stone if it is a moth. If it's a bird, I'm nipping to Sainsbury's too. I'm getting some bird seed.
Do they sell bird seed at Sainsbury's?
Usually, in a good one. Tesco's too. They've got a pet section and they do like wild bird seed and stuff as well.
Fair
I've
enough.
bought it before.
Fair enough.
Not since I've lived here though. F the seagulls.
Bastards.
Right, what else would I need? What will kill a bird? Rat poison, I guess. I'm clutching, but I'm going for seeds and rat poison. If it doesn't work, I'll kick the crap out of it with my feet.
Do you know what
I'll
I'd
buy
get?
some shoes.
Baking soda. Baking soda.
Old wives' tale. It's not true.
Yeah, it is.
Nuh-uh. Your life has just been shattered.
Nope. Damn you!
I was just going to elaborate on that point. Most birds, and in particular seagulls, have really, really good digestive systems. They can eat pretty much anything. So some people think if you give them like loads of painkillers or whatever, that will also kill them. It's all bollocks.
Why, thank you there, Grape Humper. You and birds, eh?
I don't like
Who would've
seagulls.
known?
But they're protected species.
I've tried all this shit.
Well, no, that's the thing. You can't because they're protected. And where I live, what do you keep looking over there for? Is there a seagull? Yeah, you can't. And living, not that I would anyway, but if you did living around here, someone would see it.
That is true.
So yeah, I know all you can really do is scare them. So I run out there like a maniac. Come on, fight me! And they learn to fear me.
I so wish one day one turns around to fight you.
I would love it. Like anything. Oh, it's my dream. Hate the little twats.
Let's make this happen.
They're massive these days, though, really, aren't they?
They really are.
Can you remember seagulls when you were little? You'd go to the seaside. They wouldn't even dare come near you. They were tiny. Nowadays, these mother truckers are up to your knees.
But
They're growing rapidly. They used to be dinosaurs. They're heading back that way. We need to stop them. Let's kill the seagulls.
They're like the Ronnie Colemans.
But also no harm to any creature. But kill the seagulls without causing any harm. They're going to take over the world. Just saying.
So there are those that believe that the Mothman is an omen rather than something to be feared, as a sign that something is about to happen rather than being the cause of it.
Yeah.
Sorry,
go on.
Here's several cases where this could be truthful, allegedly. On December 15th, 1967, the Silver Bridge connecting Point Pleasant, West Virginia and Gallipolis, Ohio collapsed, unfortunately killing 46 people. The collapse of the bridge was said to have been caused by a single suspension chain due to a minute defect. There are some that believe it was caused by the bridge being poorly maintained and it was carrying more weight than it was designed to do. Then there are those that say they witnessed a human-like creature with wings above the bridge the day it collapsed. If you look at that picture, a little kind of circle. Zoom.
People aren't saying that's a creature with wings. There's an identical thing on every single... Right, there's a picture of a bridge, and it's got several raised sections with almost like a square contraption as part of the construction that holds it all together. On each tip, someone has circled one of them, despite the fact there's another two clearly visible in the picture outside of the one they've circled.
They look nothing like the one they've circled.
It's the exact same thing.
I'm going to put this picture up.
It's from the... Look at the angle, so we're not dead on.
If we were playing a game of, what are those games in the old
I know
books
what
you
you're
used to
talking
get?
about, yeah.
Spot the difference. You'd be terrible.
Son, that is the same thing.
That is not the same thing.
We're looking at this bridge from a slight angle, so we're not dead on. So it looks like it's sticking out more because of the angle.
That
it's
is not
exactly the same shape.
thing.
Swear to me.
Mothman.
I'm looking for a penguin and I don't see it in this picture. I'm not saying it's not a penguin in general. This just is not good evidence of said penguin.
In April 1986, there was a tiny little power plant you may have heard of before. Chernobyl power plant. Ring any bells?
No, I've never heard of that. Where was that?
As the factual account goes, several people around the area and also those within the power plant started to experience strange goings on.
Woo.
Some witnessed a mysterious creature described as a dark humanoid with large wings and piercing red eyes. Those affected started to experience nightmares and also threatening phone calls. Some even claim to have had first-hand experience with the creature. These reports started at the beginning of April and continued until that fateful day, April 26th, when Reactor 4 exploded, causing a fire which sparked several other explosions and eventually a nuclear meltdown.
Horrible tragedy.
Following the catastrophe, some had survived the blast and fire. Some of them spoke of seeing a large black creature with a 20-foot wingspan gliding through the toxic plumes before they passed away from the radiation.
Bloody hell, that sounds a bit bigger than what we've been dealing with so far.
Since then, there have been no sightings of the creature known as the Black Bird of Chernobyl.
There you go with the bird again.
And rest in peace to those that lost their lives in these tragedies.
Right, so people were getting threatening phone calls. I can see you. Oh, I've just seen you've put a picture in.
Of the Black Bird of Chernobyl.
To be fair, that one looks like an owl. Have you ever seen an owl when you lift up their feathers so you can see their legs?
Like when they're walking forward.
Hold on. What is that bulge? He's got balls.
That is quite possibly his tail.
Bird ball man. It does actually look like an owl though when you look at this picture.
It does.
Yeah, you have to upload that one. There's not really much to say about it. It's massive, legs with balls, owl face with red eyes, and very, very large wings. But yeah, the phone calls, threatening phone calls. Can you elaborate on that at all? Have you?
No, there's nothing to say what the phone calls contained, why they were threatening.
I don't want to be disrespectful to obviously this horrible, horrible event. I'm just curious as to whether prank calls.
Yeah,
like this.
That's what I initially thought.
You don't really get prank calls as much as you used to these days. Things have moved on, but in like the 80s and the 90s, kids did this shit. They'd just go to a phone box and ring a random number and be like, I'm gonna reach you.
And then run off.
And then they'd hang up, ring the sex line, ask what a blowjob is. Wouldn't they, Granville?
That's what I say. You talking from experience.
Of watching you. Back at you, son.
I had no retort. You grave-humping grey bastard.
So I'm curious as to whether these were just general threats or whether the phone calls were like, hello.
Just happened to be prank calls
There's
at the
going
time.
to be a tragedy. If someone rang you and said that your home is going to explode, what would you do?
I would ask how they knew. And I would ask where I live.
And if they said, because I'm a demon penguin, son.
I'd say, what's my address? And then if they told me the address, I'd be like,
going to Sainsbury's.
When's it happening?
I'm getting that bird seed.
I'll meet you in 5 minutes at this locale.
Yeah, tell me more. I'm just going to buy a lantern.
Some Raid
Yeah.
and a lighter.
Jokes aside, obviously, of course, I've heard of the nuclear explosion. I don't know why I mind blanked on it so much earlier, but now I'm struggling to say the word Chernobyl. There we go. It just doesn't want to come out of my mouth tonight. But yeah, I'd actually heard of sightings of Mothman prior to that one. And the bridge, I think the bridge is the focal point of the film, The Mothman Prophecies, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I am vaguely, I've never really studied it, obviously, but I have heard of that. I think a lot of people probably will have. What I didn't know, because I can remember the best part of that film is when Richard Gere is sitting in his hotel room or whatever, and the phone rings, and it's the Mothman, and it's like an electric voice. It's really freaky, and it starts telling him what he's doing and stuff.
I've not seen that film.
We should watch that film. We should definitely watch that film. It's Marmite. People either really, really like it or they think it's
hate
utter.
it.
Yeah, completely lost my
we should
trail of thought
definitely watch
again.
that.
But yeah, I'm curious as to whether the phone calls were kids or whether it was something that actually led to that being based on it. Did that happen before the bridge as well?
No, it was after.
That's not consistent. Maybe we've got two different creatures on the prowl here. So we've got the demonic
Mothman.
penguin in Point Pleasant and the Mothman in Russia.
The Blackbird of Chernobyl.
Okay, two creatures. I'm in.
So skeptics believe that these sightings, however, are nothing more than birds. Sheriff George Johnson believes what the couple saw that night in Point Pleasant was a heron. Joe Nickel believes that the creature that people are seeing is actually an owl, as they can be quite large and their eyes reflective.
People don't realise how big owls can be.
Yeah, they are huge.
We've covered it before, in fact, haven't we?
I mean, Lord Jeffrey.
Yeah.
So magnificent.
Those things are beasts.
He is.
And they get quite vicious during breeding season, obviously, protecting their young.
Probably just swooping down to tell people or to
Get off my
get out
patch.
my get off my land.
I like how we both went to the same voice. Get off my land, you slag.
The sandhill crane is another bird which is said to have been mistaken for the Mothman. And that is a picture of the sandhill crane.
Okay. It's not too dissimilar to a heron, really.
No, but I think it's quite a big bird as
It
well.
looks quite a big bird. Now I'm just getting an image in my head of Big Bird from Sesame Street. Is Big Bird the Mothman?
That would be fantastic.
That would be freaky as. Imagine if, like, Big Bird, having grown up seeing him so friendly on TV, started prank calling you. You're gonna die.
What if he just came through this door right now and was like, smother. Smother.
I'll be out of the window. Leg it. Nope.
So the Silver Bridge photo, which depicts what could be Mothman, is said to be a piece of metal hanging from the bridge.
I'm so sorry. I've just had a side thought on Big Bird. His friend. What the hell was that massive brown thing? He was like an elephant, but he was hairy.
Was it
What the
Snuffly?
Something like that. But what was he? What creature is that thing?
I don't know. Wasn't it like a woolly mammoth without the tusks?
Well, this is the thing. I don't know what it was. But if that came through the door, I would absolutely poo my pants. There's no two ways about it. I ain't fighting that thing.
Hey, Big Bird.
The head wobbling from side to side. They're a twosome. One's in Russia, one's in America, causing havoc.
They've got their ship on lock.
They've got frustrated with their pay and they're kicking off.
There are those that do not believe this at all and see Mothman as an angel.
Ooh.
That can choose who is able to see him and warns people of disaster rather than being a being of destruction.
So another, interesting. It's a more positive take, that one.
Despite the possibility of being evil, the Mothman has been depicted in film, The Mothman Prophecies, which came out in 2002, and that same year, Point Pleasant started its annual Mothman Festival. The Mothman was used to drum up interest in Point Pleasant and get people to visit it, hoping it would become a tourist attraction due to its uniqueness, which it has done.
You know, we've had this a couple of times with American towns, haven't we? We've had the Little Green Man Festival. Why don't we do this?
Get some money in?
Yeah, which is absolutely fine. Bring in the tourists. Like, I don't really want to say that, actually. I was going to give away where we live.
Yeah, don't.
Any MIBs listening. But we should do this more in Britain. Have festivals for things like supernatural tales that have happened. It's cool as shit.
Unless it's ghosts. Not coming.
Definitely do it if it's ghosts.
The festival has an annual attendance of around 10 to 12,000.
Crikey!
There's
a lot.
Indeed. There's a Mothman museum and research centre dedicated to the stories around Mothman, from memorabilia, newspaper clippings and documents. There's also a 12-foot metallic statue of Mothman in Point Pleasant.
That must be the only Mothman museum in the world. That is a glorious statue.
Glorious!
Is it metallic? It's certainly very shiny and silvery looking with massive ruby eyes. The statue. The statue. The statue, I've forgotten what I was going to say. It looks more like a moth than the pictures you showed me from the cases. So they were looking more like birds, to be honest. But this thing is clearly a fly at the very least.
Do you know what
with a
it reminds me of?
He-Man?
It's as if a human got spliced with a butterfree.
Yeah, absolutely, in fact. The photo is cut off at the crotch, so I can't see if it had balls like the picture from earlier.
Aluminium balls.
Adamantanium balls. Wolver balls.
Adamantium. It's like the whole X-Men Blackbird thing all over again.
I was about to say, what was the ship called again? I'm so happy you said it. So, this festival sounds quite fun. Can we go?
I really wish we could.
We've got at least like 3 festivals at this point we need to attend.
We also need travel restrictions.
Do you think if we're doing this in a couple of years, which of course we will be, we'll start getting invited to shit like this?
I hope so. This would be incredible. So to any organisers out there listening, invite us to some shit.
We'll have to obviously not turn up in our black suits and shades because people might get the wrong idea.
True.
But of course we will turn up in our black suits because...
That's all we have.
It's the last suit that we've ever worn, in fact.
And ever will wear.
Indeed. I quite liked the idea of the angelic presence, linking back a little bit to your earlier comment. That's quite a nice... It's almost like reassurance that shit is going down, but we got you.
We got your back.
You're coming up to this place with us. You ain't going down there. Down there.
Well, that might not necessarily be true. You could still be going down there.
If you're going up there, why the hell would this demonic bastard thing appear to you? Surely this is, you're coming down here. And the nice angels in their white dresses and whatnot, and their harps, appear to the good people, and they're like, you're coming up here.
What if it's the other way around? Just as a sick joke.
We've got it all wrong. What if?
What if?
I don't know how that's going to affect my life.
You could say that we've all made a grave mistake. I'm sorry. So everything that we've learned today, is Mothman an omen, angel, demon, something in between, or nothing at all? And is this just a story which has been misconstrued from an event and added to by some seeking attention, or those that actually believe they saw it?
So I think it's highly unlikely that it is an angel, but if it's a penguin demon, then I can find that quite believable. Or maybe it's like a genetically mutated penguin. So it's like the X-Man of the penguin world, and he's actually trying to warn people of impending doom. But every time he runs up to speak to them, they shit their pants and run.
What if his voice box was fucked with? So instead of talking, you just hear...
And everyone keeps on trying to fight him. They're like, hold on, mate, I'm just going to Sainsbury's. Back in 5 minutes. Meet me here, yeah?
Raid. Lighter.
Trying to warn you.
Might be crazy, but we're not stupid.
For this case, did you pick a few cases out, or did you go over all the evidence and this is all the sightings there have been?
I picked a few out. I think there was another 5 or 6 sightings.
I assume you picked the best ones in that case. I wish we knew more about the grave diggers. Don't. You'll be heading for a shallow grave.
You could say I would have made a grave mistake.
I feel like you're burying yourself at this point.
I'm not going to say it now.
Because I still want to know what the hell they were doing there that late at night.
It's such an odd time to dig a grave.
5 men digging were they like mafia?
Who knows?
They whacked someone and... Hey, Johnny! Wait, that's really not a gangster voice. Can you do a gangster voice?
Don't know. I mean, you could just do a normal voice.
We need to work on like a New York accent.
Yeah.
But none of us have got anything.
Just work on it, not produce it now.
Hey, you wise guy. That's definitely not it. Your turn. Let's play ping pong.
Why I order?
Why you order?
We're going to burst into song.
No. Damn it. I feel like I need to hear one now so I can do it.
Yeah.
Hey, the matter with you? Damn it. I feel like I got closer, but I'm still not there.
What is your final thought?
Mutated penguin. Not Mothman. I'm not saying that it was Mothman, but it was missighted bird.
I'm in full agreement there.
I thought you might fight me on this one for a giggle.
No. I think they, like we said earlier with the owls, people don't realise how big an owl can get.
People think they're nice, but they can be really aggressive at the wrong time of year.
And I think they just happened to stumble upon it at the wrong time of year and got chased away. Either that or by another bird in doing the exact same thing, protecting its eggs.
Yeah.
And they shit their panties when they saw it coming. And then people either wanting attention or something like that seem to just further.
Well, the later cases certainly sounded like, firstly, couples seeking attention somewhat, and then people looking for reasonings in tragedies, because people don't like to think that things just happen.
Yeah.
Especially horrible things. But that first case with the grave diggers, how did that story even get out?
I have
Is
no
that
idea.
made up? Was it mafia and I didn't want to talk about it anymore? Forget about it. No. Why I order? I feel like I made a grave mistake with that voice.
So that's it from us today. It is not Mothman.
Not
No. Mothman!
Why I order? I'm going to keep doing that all night now.
Thank you for joining us this Halloween. We hope you have a great time, whatever you're doing. But don't fuck about with Ouija boards.
Do not.
We're not doing a Ouija board. You can fuck right off.
I did do one once.
You're a bellend.
It was really... must have been about 12 years. Do you want to hear this now? Or?
No.
So I was 12 years old, around No, it could have even been 11.
I have been Midnight Moonwalker, and he's been grave humping Greybeard.
Gosh.
We have been But It Was Aliens, and we are out. So stay safe, and remember, the truth is that it was not Mothman. Not Mothman. #probe. Peace.
Ta-ta.